what I told you? I said, OG, you think I can get paid and go back and play in college? Because this shit ain't it.
Welcome to Point Game with John Wall and CJ Toledano, presented by DraftKings. Don't forget, DraftKings is your home for all the action across the NBA and gets you closer to the game we all love. The crown is yours. Coming up on today's episode, we got three-time NBA champion, current Celtics assistant coach, and one of John's first assistant coaches in the league. We got Sam Cassell joining Point Game. Now, without further ado, I want to bring on my co-host, the one and only John Wall. John, how you feeling, man?
What's good, bro? I'm good, man. Just chilling. Watching a lot of playoff basketball. That's really all going on my side, brother. Listen,
I know schedules are crazy, so we're literally recording in the midst of the Knicks game. So we told our producers, chime in if anything crazy is going on, but it's a close one between the Knicks and Sixers right now. But we wanted to get on the mic here, and we wanted to talk about the first games from round one. John, basketball is starting to really mean something right now. What were some of your reactions from the first games? And I know that some people say they're overreactions, but I would love to see, what you're thinking after watching those first games.
I think it's been some good basketball. There's been a lot of blowouts too.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing teams down 20, down 30, you wouldn't expect that early on. But then teams are fighting back, and the first game is always like a fill-out game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know what coverage this team's going to do. Like I said before, role players play well at home. So your main objective is try to take the stars away, see what their role players does. And so far early on, the role players have been doing their job and playing well. You're seeing guys put up some big numbers. Playing at a high level. You see what Dame just did the other night. He had 35.
That's crazy.
In the first half. So that was spectacular. I was a little mad he didn't score more in the second half. I thought he was going for 50. But they got the win. They got the win, so that's all that matters. But, it's been a lot of good basketball going on. And I'm excited to see the end of this Knicks game and then definitely the Lakers-Nuggets next.
What series are you watching the most or most excited for? You're like, I can't miss that.
Right now, I will say the Lakers and Nuggets.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what's been interesting?
Well, I think the Heat would have been. I think the Heat would have been my series, but Jimmy's not healthy. You know what I mean? And Terry Rozier has not been there, so they're not a full healthy team.
Right.
So they always been that team that's underdog. That they're always gonna play hard. They always got their identity. They always gonna be in a fight. And I feel like they just losing Jimmy, their best player, and losing Terry is a guy that can score the ball and help them defensively. Kind of hurts them, but they're gonna make adjustments and try to make it a better game the next time around. But I think that would be the series I'll be into. And my other series I'm really locked into is Clippers and Mavs. I'm definitely locked into that one. And I think those would be the three most locked in series I'll be into. But right now it's the Clippers, Mavs, and Lakers Nuggets. Just because Bron has lost 9 straight to them. Including last year's playoffs and this year's regular season. And it just seemed like they have their number. Those guys, like AD had a hell of a game last game. Bron played great. I don't think D'Lo goes 6 for 20 again and go 1 for 9 from 3, but you just got that bug. Can they get over the hump? Can they not get swept again? Can they win the series? Trying to figure that out.
Yeah. Do you, with the Lakers and Nuggets series, you look at the numbers with AD and LeBron and they're doing their thing. Do you think that D'Lo really is that X factor? If he hits those threes, they're going to be in those games and potentially be able to win some of them.
Well, last game they had full control to the third quarter.
Yeah.
They had full control of the whole game to the third quarter. So, the Nuggets are one of those teams that's a great third quarter team. That's what it is about those teams. They feel like they're never out of it, no matter how much they're down, because they're a great third quarter team. I think their role players have to play better. Those shots we've seen D'Lo make and take all year long, and made big moments for those guys. So, just got to see where they stand, if they can still win tonight. And, I think the Nuggets feel comfortable that they have won in L.A. the last, couple times they played there,
9
so they
times,
feel comfortable.
I think,
yeah, so they feel comfortable. So the job for the Lakers is not home court for them, but they got to try to steal a win. And the same thing if the Nuggets go up 2-0, they're gonna want to try to steal one of those games in LA, if not both.
You were talking about Dame before too. I think a lot of people were saying, just based on the regular season record or series between the two, that the Pacers and Bucks was going to be in the favor of the Pacers, especially since Giannis is out. But like you said, I know you're close with Dame. Can you talk a little bit about what do you think is going on there with Dame by himself and going off and getting that pretty easy win against the Pacers?
Just think of Dame in Portland.
Yeah.
He went to Dame in Portland mode. And like he said early, like I think a lot of people said he's not happy there or whatever's going on. But like he said, it's a different year for him because he's used to being at home with his family. You know what I mean? Going through a divorce, used to being home with his family, used to seeing his kids every day. That's a different adjustment. Also being on a new team, like that's a new adjustment, new coach. So that's all a big factor. You know what I mean? Like people don't understand, like we still human. So outside of just playing basketball, he has a life he has to live outside that to raise his kids and usually being with his family. And it's a different dynamic now, you know what I mean? So he probably feel a way about it. And that's kind of trickling on him and listening to the news about that. But when it comes to playoff time, man, everybody know what Dame can do, you know what I mean? Like he said, the last 2 years, I think he's been out the playoffs. And I think last year was his first time he ever went to Coachella. But, I mean, we all know who Damian Lillard is, how great and special he is. When it's crunch time, when it's those big-time moments, he lived for it. He's probably one of the, if not the best, one of the best clutch players in the league right now, and has done that since his rookie year. So when you get Dame by himself, you get Dame with a lot of pick and rolls. You get Dame with the basketball, kind of like he was in his Portland role. It's a little bit different when Giannis there. You know what I mean? So they all trying to figure that void out, and also getting Chris Middleton back. He used to be the second guy on their team, so trying to figure out how to mesh that together with him missing time this year. And then guys like Bobby Portis, you know what I mean? I feel like he should be the sixth man of the year. The way he's been playing. And he stepped up and played a big role for them in the starting lineup.
Yeah, they're quieting a lot of people with that. I do love that you said, like we do it on this show a lot, is remind people that players are humans. And Dame had to come out and be like, hey, listen, my situation here is great, but I got some personal stuff I'm going through. So it was sick to watch him kind of just go off and be like, I'm Dame Lillard, and this is the playoffs. I'm here and I'm gonna do what I do. So that was fun to watch.
Yeah, he bumped his chest. I think after he hit the three at the end of the first, he bumped his chest and said, that's why y'all brought me here.
Yeah.
Like, don't get it messed up. You know what I mean? I had sluggish in the game, got other personal problems I have to go through. But I'm willing to give my all when I step between these lines, and I'm here to compete and try to win a championship. I think that's his mindset. Everybody knows that. And like he said, he don't have nothing to prove to nobody outside. As long as those 14 other guys in the locker room, that coaching staff, believe in him, that's all you ask for because that's your team, that's your family when you're playing. The outside noise, it's just people want to stir up the pot and get whatever they can out of it.
Did you have any sort of like rituals or traditions that I think LeBron did, like, no social media during the playoff times? Did you have any sort of, traditions that you went through when it came playoff time?
Nah. I just stick to what I was doing. I didn't really change nothing for you.
Yeah.
That moment's different, though, man. Playing the playoffs is different, bro. You could just feel the energy. For me, just watching at home, you could just feel the electricity in the building, you know what I mean? So I remember when I went to the finals a couple years ago with Boston and Golden State, just being at game 3 and 4, like it was just electric. And you could just feel like the atmosphere is different. I had a game 7 there, so I definitely know how I feel. But the finals is a whole nother level when everybody's spotlight is on them two teams.
Yeah. Okay. A couple other series I wanted to talk to you about. The Suns, Timberwolves. I think, we've obviously seen the Timberwolves have an incredible regular season, but getting that win, kind of a blowout like we had mentioned earlier in Ant. What do you think about that team? What do you think about Ant? What do you think is also going through KD's mind? He put together this squad and they're getting blown out in game 1. What do you think is going on in this series?
Well, Ant's a different level. I think Ant brings that old school mentality into the new school. No friends, competing on both ends of the floor. And that's what you want from your superstars. He's not backing down from any challenge. It's only one game, you know what I mean? Nobody can overreact this one game. Like I said, you all trying to figure out what the matchup was. I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and I was telling him, I said, I had watched them play that last game when KD and them needed to win so they get in the playoffs and not playing a play-in tournament. And I was like, you can't be putting Karl Anthony Towns on Grayson Allen. Like, it's just not going to work because he got to close out so far to a shooter. And Grayson Allen has improved. He could put the ball on the floor. He was making plays, making floaters. I said, if they really want to beat them, you have to put Cat on AD. He has to take the challenge. Like, it's not an easy matchup. You have to take that challenge. And they did that. And I was like, okay, that's an adjustment they made. And I said, another adjustment they can make at times is playing Cat at the 5 and go small. where Rudy's not on the floor sometimes, or you can't have both of them on the floor at all times. So they made some adjustments. You know what I mean? D Book didn't have a great game scoring or shooting wise, but it's one game. I'm not going to overreact on it. You know what I mean? You still got 3 guys that can go get 30 and 40 on any given night. So it's about playing well, playing big. So, you know what I mean? That's a game like Minnesota. They got to protect home court. That's their job. That's what they're trying to do. They're taking it one game at a time, but I love them as a young team. That's another series I forgot to speak on because that's going to be electrifying just because everybody wants to see Ant-Man play. And we know you have those 3 guys on the other side with Phoenix that's spectacular and bring a crowd too. So that's going to be a fun series.
Yeah, speaking on the young guys, the game that I didn't realize was going to probably be my favorite of this round is the Thunder and Pelicans. You got 2 young teams. You had the Pelicans who lost Zion but ended up getting into the play-in and made that game ridiculously close. What are your thoughts on Pelicans Thunder after that first game?
I liked it. Great game coming down to the end. Guys making big plays, you know what I mean? And I think it's just going to be a lot of good basketball, man. You know what I mean? A lot of people is counting the Thunder out just because they're young. You know what I mean? Don't think they have enough, but Shea has been leading those guys all year, so they've been figuring it out. They're doing the right things. Czech had a hell of a block at the end of the game, and Shea come down and get a 3-point play. And then Case and Wallace do a hell of a job of locking up CJ and making him take a tough shot. So, I mean, you just wish every team had everybody healthy because I know it would be a different matchup with Zion, but these young guys in OKC is hooping, and it's going to be a lot of great basketball. I mean, you can't do nothing but enjoy this moment.
Right.
And for those people to be in that spotlight, you got to enjoy it.
And I think you're in your man cave right now, and you've described on this show your setup here. So you probably got the Knicks-Sixers game on right now. So I appreciate you for staying somewhat locked in. But I also am like, John, what's going on in the game? Maybe give us your at the moment right now, it's 78-85, Knicks leading. What's going on in that game, and how do you think this what does it mean if the Knicks get game 2 here against the Sixers?
It's big for them. You know what I mean? Like, anytime you got home court, you want to protect home court. You know what I mean? Because once the road team still won game, they have the advantage nowadays. The pressure is off them. They can go home and try to get 2 games. And with a home team that lose one of those first 2 games, you got to try to get the momentum back. But shout out to one of my old teammates, Bogdanovich. He out there just hit 2 big threes for him. I mean, he's plays well. He was a great 6-man for our team. But they role players are making shots. You know what I mean? Josh Hart's playing great. DiVincenzo's playing great. Mitchell Robinson's coming in. Harkenstein is doing his part. So those guys are coming in and fighting. You know what I mean? Right now, the Sixers guys is not really, I think outside like really Embiid and Maxey, those are the only 2 guys really playing well today. But your role players got to help you win a game, still a game, or your stars got to be really stars the whole time. And that's what makes playoff basketball fun because you see some of the unexpected doing what you don't really see them do. But once those spotlights are on, you come in and play at a high level, you good.
I mean, yeah, we saw it in game 1 with Embiid. He went down with the knee, and he's coming off injury. He hasn't been 100%, which is insane because he's got 31 right now at the top of the 4th. And he's not even fully healthy, and he's doing this stuff. So I think it's another example of what you said. Like, guys become different come playoff time. One question I wanted to ask for you, like, are you having any communication with any players that are currently in playoffs? Any tips or any of your old text chats going off talking playoff talk?
No, not with the players really. You know what I mean? I just try to let those guys lock in and be tuned into the game because, that's the mindset I would want to be, you know what I mean? Unless I'm coming to a game and when those guys see me at the game and I say what up and maybe we grab dinner after the game or before the game, night before the game, something like that. But other than that, I'm just sitting back being observant. And just watching great basketball play, like watching these great young guys and some of these older guys that's still doing it play at a high level. It's exciting just to watch, you know what I mean? Like with the Knicks, you got to think like Julius Randle go down. You trade R.J. Barrett, you bring OG Anunoby come in. They was winning like 10 in a row before he got hurt. Then Josh Hart coming to the lineup. DiVincenzo, like those guys just stepping up. Jalen Brunson playing at the MVP level. For those guys that finished number 2 in the East, like nobody expected them to be there. So with the moves that have been made at the trade deadline and the way that these guys are hooping, you want to see it, you know what I mean? Because when your stars go to the playoffs, they got to go to another level, you know what I mean? So it's crazy because if you averaging 30 in the regular season, you got to damn near average 35 to 38.
Yeah.
In the playoffs to show you really doing something, you know what I mean? Because you did 30 in the regular season, like, okay, we expect that. Can you have those bigger games for us? And that's what the playoffs all about.
Lastly, I wanted to ask you about that Caleb Martin play. he came crashing and it hit Jason Tatum kind of in the air, and Jason had a hard fall. There's been a lot of conversation whether that was intentional or not. The NBA actually came out and said they're not going to issue a flagrant or suspension. What do you think happened on that play?
Caleb Martin, he plays hard, man. Just everybody plays for the Heat. They play hard. I don't think he was trying to be dirty or anything because he's one of those guys, if you ever see, he's always tacking the rim to get offensive rebounds and try to do things like that. So I think he just got caught in a bad spot where he wanted to go jump and realized he really couldn't jump. And you couldn't stop yourself. Like, I don't think he tried to hurt him, but, I wasn't in the game. I don't know what was said throughout the game. I don't know what was going on. So for those people that was there, it might be a different perspective than what I see from watching it from at home. So I don't think he was trying to be dirty, but who knows what led to it, what might have led to it, if it could have been or not. For me, my point of view, I don't think it was dirty.
No, that's just as a fan, it's like these are two teams that have a bit of a history. It's competitive and things like this happen. And I think Caleb even went up to Tatum to try to help him up. So, a lot of people out there trying to I
got a question for you.
Okay, John. All right.
What do you think happened tonight in this Lakers-Nuggets game?
Man, I think the Lakers. I'm trying to secret it. I kind of want the Lakers to win this one because it makes it a series to me. But the team has sort of broke my heart a little bit over this season, to be quite honest. We put it together, and then you have a game where they lose, and it looks like they undo it. So I really, like I said before, I really do think it comes down to D'Lo. LeBron is the vet, and we've been wanting to sort of get the load, share the load to the other players. And I think AD, again, today he gets no love on, Defensive Player of the Year. And I think
I don't understand that one. That was kind of wicked for me.
It's crazy. And
that's kind of wicked for me.
And the health too. The hate that AD gets from commentators and people and calling him street clothes. It's man, look at this season and what he's done in his business.
Yeah, I think it just trickles back to what he's been known for his career. Yeah. Everybody knows when AD's healthy, AD's easily a top 5 player in the league. Because he just does everything. Can shoot a three, can post up, can score on the block, can catch lobs, can guard your guards, can block shots. He does it all. When he's healthy. But most of them go by what he's been done lately. But you're supposed to go by what somebody has done lately. And this year he has played almost 75 games, if I'm not mistaken, and put up hell of a number. So he should have been in that defensive player conversation for sure. And I just don't like he not getting the love he got. And not just because I fuck with AD or he's a Kentucky guy or anything like that, but just what he's been able to do, the level he's been playing at this year and been healthy, which you always hear every time he fall, oh my God, is AD getting up, he's not getting up. To get through that and keep competing, you got to enjoy it.
Yeah, man. And like you said with the other teams, it's the playoffs, it really is role players. They step up. And the Lakers got those role players. D'Lo, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, we won series off that last year. And so I think if we want to make a similar run to last year, we got to be oh man, Lonnie Walker game. You know what I mean? Who's our Lonnie Walker this year? Who's our, Austin Reeves, we gave him that nice deal. We got to see these guys step up. So I'm excited. 4 games. If they get tonight, I think my excitement definitely gets reignited. So. Yeah,
that's the Knicks game right now, man. The role players are playing well for them. Jalen Brunson not even in the game, man. They take their lead up to 8. You know what I mean? Brad just hit a big mid-range jumper for and 1. So they playing well. So when he can get a little bit of rest, that gives him an opportunity to close the game out, which you really don't want to see because he's one of those spectacular guys.
Yeah. And not to bring up bad memories, but it's when you guys played Missoula in the tournament, it's you scout, you watch old games. But that's when these guys who aren't heavily scouted or not necessarily dominate games, that's when they step up and they win series. They win games to
yeah,
win
for
series.
Sure. We scouted Missoula and we knew what he could do, but he wasn't really a great three-point shooter in college, You know what I mean? So we laid off and went underneath screens and he played well. Even in transition, he got offensive rebounds. Defensive rebounds, he's pushing the pace. It was more so a half-court team, you know what I mean? So we preparing for the half-court situations. They pushing the pace. They doing that. They doing this. So they did a hell of a job. So, yeah, basically what you said, the player that you don't never disrespect anybody because they are who they are. They play college for a reason because they're talented. It's I always tell people, the 15th player on the bench, he can play in the NBA.
Yeah.
He just might not find minutes, but he can play. You're not here for no reason, you know what I mean? There's only been 5,000 NBA guys in the history of basketball. So they ain't just giving out spots for somebody that ain't really can play basketball. He might not get a lot of minutes in the league, but outsiders won't beat him one-on-one. I can tell you that 9 times out of 10. But You just got to be prepared and lock in on anybody. You know your scout.
That's right. All right, we're going to talk more playoff talk at the end of the show, but I want to wrap this segment because after the break, we're going to bring on one of your old assistant coaches and the current assistant coach of the number one team in the league right now, of the Boston Celtics. Sam Cassell is joining us on Point Game. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to Point Game with John Wall and CJ Toledano, presented by DraftKings. We are now honored to be joined by our guest, three-time NBA champion, the current assistant coach of the best team in the NBA currently, the Boston Celtics. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sam Cassell to Point Game. Sam, what up, man?
Game. Thank you for having me, man. Thanks for having me. I got requested to come on this show, man. My guy, John Wall. I call him, he's like my son. He's like my oldest son. But when I got the request to join the show, I said, absolutely. Just find a time for me and let's get it done.
Love that. So, yeah, I mean, you started your coaching career. You won a championship with the Celtics, and you started your coaching career pretty quickly. And then John came in, I think, a year after your first year. So can you talk to us a little bit about what was your first reaction? I mean, I'm sure you saw John in college. So your first reaction seeing him as a player and then getting to coach him in those early years.
Well, I think I talked to John. I think was it the day you got drafted or the day after? I think the day before. The day of the draft.
Yeah.
The day before the draft, I think I talked to him, and I just told him, I said, man, like he didn't realize what he's getting himself involved with, because I think John lost like 3 games. He lost 3 games to
3 games in college, yeah.
in college, and I'm just thinking, and people don't understand. I was like, well, he's gonna lose more than 3 games, probably the first 2 weeks of the first week of the season. And I was thinking about the mental aspect, his approach that he can take. But he had so much on his shoulder. He was the savior of the organization. And it was a lot. It was a lot for him. But I think as time went on, there's some days he got real frustrated. And I was like, hey, man, this is how it's going to be for a while till we get the team that you need beside you. But once we get the team you need beside you, you're going to have an all-star career. And I told him the year we made a playoff, I said, John, you're going to be an all-star next year. I said, you'll be an all-star, because he understood what it took to win the game of basketball as a young guy in the league.
Yeah, that's for sure. 2014 we did. But, yeah, OG, like, I thank you for being on here. But what you doing for the game, dominating the point guard position, talk about your journey that you took to get to the NBA.
Not journey. It was it was a long journey. I went to junior college. I went to Florida State. Then I got drafted by the Houston Rockets. Ironically, that was the only team that really worked me out. I had one workout. And some guys right now, they might have 20 workouts for each team, and probably each team in the NBA. But I had one workout. This was for the Houston Rockets, and I think Rudy Tom Jonovich was the coach at that particular time. And I think my toughness, I was fearless as a basketball player. As a young basketball player, I didn't care if I missed or made. If I had opportunity to make a play, I was going to make a play. And sometimes that rubbed the veterans the wrong way sometimes. But I had completely confidence in myself. And maybe sometimes it wasn't always the right decision. But it happens, man. I was never afraid. Like I used to tell John all the time, I said, John, they're going to talk about you. If you got 30 points, you got 10 points. So hopefully let's give them something positive to talk about. They're going to always talk about you. So that was my approach when I played the game of basketball, Some people liked my game, some people didn't like my game, so.
But yeah, I think you had a great point right there. Like, the game, you got to play it with confidence. You know what I mean? I think that's one thing that you helped me with a lot when I first came into the NBA, because, like, oh, he don't shoot the ball, well, he does this. And it's like, well, damn, if I miss this one, do I take the next one? You know what I mean? You always just kept saying, if you're working on it, believe in it. And that's why I say, like, the confidence is a key thing, and a lot of young guys don't really understand it. Like I said, I was blessed to have you as a point that played the position, was great at your position, and knew how to master the spots that I needed to get to master my game to go to another level. So it was great to have that camaraderie and that relationship early on.
Like I always told you, John, your whole thing was like, you so fast. You might have forgot about this. This is crazy that I can still remember this. I remember one time we was playing the Cavaliers, and you was fourth quarter, like 7 minutes ago in the game, and you was racing the ball up the court. And you told me it was a timeout, and you came right to me and said, hey, OG, you got to get them to run with me. And I looked at you and said, they can't. I
Yeah,
said,
I
they can't
remember
run
this.
with you.
I remember
I said,
this.
we got to control your speed. I
Mm-hmm.
said, you just running down the court like a madman and no one's running with you.
Mm-hmm.
I said, once we got that under control, John, your speed. I said, once you figure when to go, when not to go, when to change your speed and direction, it was gonna be over for the league. And once you master that aspect of the game, it was fun coaching against you, and it was fun watching you play uh, as a young kid coming to this league, being crowned a franchise ball player. You know, that's a lot. That's a lot of pressure. You know, a lot of guys don't get drafted that way anymore. That you going to be the franchise ball player, and
Mm-hmm.
you know you was drafted that way. And I thought, you know, the team we had, and I was like, wow, he can go through a lot of losing before he do a lot of winning. You know, 'cause I mean, just having experience as a player and seeing and knowing what it takes to win in this league at a high level. It was crazy that the teams you had, man, that you, you survived it. You know, the next year we got Brad and we added Trevor Reeves and them guys and Nene and Mark Gortat. And that's when I say, oh, we ready to roll now. And I think Randy Whitman was a real good coach to you because he taught you, you know, the discipline of the game. You know, he didn't take his foot off your throat and sometimes you got mad at him. But I said, John, it's betterment for you, man, because once you get the discipline as a point guard, because you are snitching him on the basketball
Yep.
court.
Yep.
Y'all bump heads a lot, but you know, I think that all your coaches you had as a member of the Wizards, I guarantee you that he was your best coach because he gave you your best results.
Yeah, I think
That's
he
your best
pushed me to
results,
an
don't
yeah, outside of you and him, I think they pushed me to another level to where like my mom always tells you, like, I don't give a damn. Take care of him, but I don't give a damn to get mad.
you? Yeah,
He'll figure
Miss
it out.
Francis, my
He'll
girl.
figure it out.
My girl.
Sam, I want to talk about, you came into the NBA the early part of your career in '94. You're obviously
Hmm.
part of a legendary team with Akeem, but you were young. I'm referring to Game 7 of 1994 against the Suns when you took over. Can you talk about, what do you remember about that game, those moments, and what was going through your head, and maybe relate that back to the mentality where you've had a kind of a unique path in your career.
Well, I just thought at that time, and it might be crazy, but at that time, man, as a young player, I just thought that I was the best player on the basketball court. Even even though Hakeem Olajuwon and Charles Barkley was on the court and Kevin Johnson, all three of them guys was all stars. Clyde Drexler, I just thought I was the best player on the court, especially when I had the ball in my hand. So I was just fearless, you know. And sometimes, thinking that way, I think allowed me to become a pretty good ball player. Um, I just knew that Akeem wasn't struggling, but I knew that the Phoenix Suns was, keying on him. So I had opportunities to go one on one, and I just felt that no one on the Suns team could stop me one on one, and I just took advantage of that situation. Like Rudy Johnson always said about me. He said, one thing you don't get with Sam Cassell, either he's gonna be hot or cold. There was no middle. There was no middle with me. You gonna get one or the other. You know what I'm saying? But the coach knew where he stood at with me. Like Sam ain't doing nothing. It was like, oh, Sam's doing great, or Sam's doing too much right now. So it was even that with that. So it was no misunderstanding with me when I got the game, especially young in my career. I was just going. I was going hard. Any opportunity I got to showcase. I only had like 24 minutes, the most, because Kenny Smith was the starting point guard. So I had 24 minutes to get all I could get before he come back in the game.
So what is your most valuable skills you think you took from being a basketball player to coming into being a coach? 'Cause a lot of people that's like a tough
Yeah,
transition for some people.
it wasn't tough because the one thing I took from playing and coaching, I never like wanted y'all to think like I thought the game. I just always tell you, I know how I would
Mm-hmm.
in this situation do it. Well, I want to see what you know how to do in this situation. So that was the biggest thing I took from playing and coaching. A lot of former players, they're like, I would have did this, you know what I'm saying? But that's not you. That's John Wall. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have the speed John Wall has. I don't have athleticism John Wall had. Could I shoot better than John? I could shoot better than John. Did John improve his shooting? Yes, he did. Where he can take big shots. It was funny. in your fourth year when you start taking big shots and making them because, like I always tell you, you prepare. I prepared you to make these kind of shots. We was in the gym constantly. Remember the '07 drill we used to do back in the
Oh
day?
man, I
I
hated
had to
that
go to
damn drill.
18 and 19.
I
So
was like,
them,
man, you gotta cut this drill out. I'm like, it was it was to the point where like, and I had a hitch in my shot when I first came in. He was like, man, what the hell you doing? You shooting on the way down every time. But it's like I was in there constantly, like it was before practice, after practice, and like I said, he helped me get the confidence to like I can take this shot because I'm working on it every day. If you don't believe in it, team's gonna keep going these pick and rolls. Like you're never gonna be able to progress to the next level. So that's why I said being able to learn from somebody that was a master of the mid-game range. You didn't have to have speed. We were just talking about before you got on. You didn't have to have the crazy athleticism. You had to have the speed. You was crafty. I'm gonna get to my spots. And another question I want to ask you because you probably got a good answer. I don't know who you would say. Who you think is the best point guard that post up nowadays? Because you was the master. For me, I would say you the best one. And like two people I like to see, you and Andre Miller. When Andre Miller's on my team,
yeah. Oh yeah, Dre. Yeah,
I was
right,
like,
right. We
damn,
can't
Dre,
have Dre.
how you
We can't
getting
have
off of
Dre.
this slow shit? But he was
Yeah,
crafty. He knew his
we
shit. So
had
I
Dre.
think like, who would you think right now?
Right now to the game, good post up guards. Another one of the guys SGA is a good post up point guard right now. Um, not a lot of them. It's not a lot of them. Cade Cunningham's a good point guard that has his back towards the game basket. It's not a lot of them right now, John. It's not a lot of them.
And why do you
Who
think
else?
that? Why is that
ISO.
part of that game? But you think there'll be a guy that I feel like it's a cycle that type of play
Oh,
might come
Jalen
back.
Brunson.
Yeah,
Jalen Brunson,
That's
a
what I was saying.
small point guard. He
That's what
has
I
a
was
great.
saying.
He's so crafty. You know what I'm saying? Just watching him play, it's like wow. I call him Jalen Brunson Cassell because he had the same kind of speed. He can't jump. He beat you with his mind. He's just so fundamentally sound. He's just so good. And he's just so crafty. He just makes me sick watching him play because he plays just like me, but he's just left-handed.
And
I
getting to
swear,
his
you know what
spots.
I'm
You like
saying?
no matter
He's
you
gonna
beat
get
me, I'm
away.
getting to my spots.
No matter he's gonna get to where he's supposed to get at, man. It's just amazing. I just watched him play the other day. We played them, and I'm just like, wow, this kid is ridiculous. He's
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? He's a good ball player. Good ball player.
Can I ask you, Sam, because you were part of also that '08 Celtics championship team. Can you talk
Hmm.
about the difference between that Rockets championship team and '08 and kind of also like your role and how that changed from early in your career as a championship or champion and then, in '08?
Oh man! By the time I won that last championship with the Celtics, I was an old man. I was 30 years old, so I'm just hanging on. I'm just trying to get one to get out the league. But man, it was just you know. When I got here to Boston, Doc told me before I got here, he said, "Sam, I want you to help me win one playoff game, just one playoff game." I was like, "Oh, I could do that." To win a championship is 16. I can have one good game in the championship run for us to win, and I did. Game one against the Cavaliers in the second round, and I think I scored like 11 or 12 points in the fourth quarter. And right after the game, he called me in his office and said, "Thank you. You did your job." Just that simple. He said, "You did your job. You gonna help me win the game, and PJ Brown gonna help me win a game." He said, "You two guys help me win one game, and the playoff we'll be champions." I did my job. PJ did his job, and we became champions. But that 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 early Rocket team to this team, we was the best defensive team. The Celtics was a great defensive team, but we had the best player in the league on our team. That was Hakeem Olajuwon. So we had the ace of spade on our team. I think at that time, I think LeBron James was the best player in the league at that time. I know he was the MVP in '08. I think he was the MVP. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so he was the best player in the league at that particular time. So the Cavaliers had the ace of spade, but we was grimy. Our team was full of a lot of characters. We had Tony Allen, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, James Posey, Big Baby, Eddie House. So we had a lot
Stacked.
of we had a lot of good. Got Skylar Braney who helped us win games. Um, Leon Poe, can't forget Leon Poe. We had Big Kendrick Perkins who held the
Right.
middle down. That
Mm-hmm.
don't get the credit he deserved as a basketball player. For that championship team. He held the middle down for us. We never doubled no one in the game of basketball. If you couldn't guard someone, you had to come out the game. Just that simple.
Sam, I want to go back. One of my favorite highlights of yours was the big balls celebration. Can you tell us the origin of that celebration? Obviously, we've seen a lot of players do it after you, but would love to hear where that came from.
Oh, I got off the movie. I got that dance off the movie Major League.
It's a classic.
I got that. I got that. So when I saw Major League, I said, I gotta put that. I gotta put that within. And I did it. It was fine and dandy when I did it, and I kept doing it. The late Commissioner David Stern got enough of it. He just told me one day I gotta cut it out.
Did they
They
call
told you
you?
that?
Like,
They call you and were like, you got to stop that. And then did you do it again and get fined or?
I never got fined for it
Okay.
because David told me now he's not having that no more in
Yeah.
his league. So
Yeah, they calling you for a fine. If they don't want to fight,
they,
they're gonna give
they,
you a
they,
warning.
they gave me a warning, and I just stopped doing it. It wasn't worth it. 25,000 doing that. It wasn't worth it. So, but like guys like Kobe Bryant, when Kobe did it, it was fine because Kobe he was a wealthy man at that particular time, so he can handle that. He can handle that. You know what I'm saying? And I doubt if they find Kobe Bryant 25,000 for doing that.
No, they probably won't, or you won't hear about it.
Right.
So you play with and coach a lot of Hall of Fame. You play with and coach a lot of Hall of Fame players. What does it
hmm
take to play alongside them, and what do you think it takes to coach them?
Like, let's use like Chris Paul is like one of my favorite point guards ever. I think just competing against Chris Paul as an individual. Now I started coaching him in his prime. Um, how he mastered the position. Chris Paul is a guy who's gonna play the point guard position the right way, no matter what you tell him. I know we was playing the San Antonio Spurs in Game 6 in the playoffs, and me and him get in a cab and go to the game early. And I said, Cap, I call him Captain. I said, Captain, um, 18 points and 18 assists ain't gonna win this game for us tonight. You have to get 30 and 15 assists, something like that. And he looked at me and said, yeah, you might be right. And he looked at me again and said, but I'm still gonna play the game the right way, son. I was like, I know that, Cap. I just want you to score the ball. Because once he put his mind together to score the basketball at that particular time in his career, he could score the basketball. I saw it in major playoff games that he took over basketball games, and you know did that team underachieve? I don't think that team underachieved. That team had the personnel and the capability of winning the championship. We just didn't do it. That goes to show you how hard it is to win an NBA championship. It's hard winning an NBA championship.
Yeah, I think like I never been to that point, but I think it's hard. I know it's hard. Like just to get out the first round, second round is hard. You know what I mean? You playing against great teams, and I think a lot of people take it for granted just because you be around so many great players or so many great teams that on paper it looks great, and they should be able to accomplish what they want to accomplish. But it's not as easy as it is if it was. So many guys that have so many rings that don't have any right now.
Yeah, think about it, John. We beat the Chicago Bulls that your first playoff.
Mm-hmm.
We beat the Bulls, and the Bulls were supposed to beat us. We won 4-1. We
Mm-hmm.
won four
Should have
games to
swept them
one.
if they don't
Full
get
sweat.
ejected.
Yeah, we wasn't know, and everyone was shocked. And I remember too. I said, I ain't shocked. We can score the ball. We had to score. The Bulls was not a high scoring team back then.
Mm-mm.
I say, you score 90 points, you beat the Bulls. We was averaging 104. So all we had to do was average out, and we can win. It was average like 95, 94 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
I said, we get our average, we can win. On the nights we lost, we can still win against them. We just got to score 104 points.
Mm-hmm.
And we win 4-1. And everybody was excited. And I told Johnson, we supposed to beat them guys, man.
Yeah,
The next round going to be a problem for us.
Yeah, I
You know what
remember
I'm
we was
saying?
running through the hallway, jumping up and down because they ain't won the playoff series in a minute. I'm like,
Yeah,
damn.
10 years. 10
Yeah.
years,
And then, like you said though, because like I feel like we wasn't. I don't think we was better than the Pacers, but we gave them a fight like a
We
motherfucker.
gave them a fight. They just had
But they just
more
had the
experience than us.
more experience than us for sure. And
More
then they
experience.
knew how to control the game in the right situations and call the right plays and get in the right spots that we didn't know how to do. And
I
I'm
remember
still
when
and
that
I'm still hot about the game. We was up 23 at half. And then Paul George came out here about 6, 7 threes in the third quarter.
I remember we was down 3 games to 1. That Pacers series, and I know you remember this.
Game 5.
And game 5, you walked in the game, you walked in the rain for shoot around, your head down, you were struggling throughout the whole series.
Yeah, I want making mid
And
ranges.
I said, come here. We walked in the locker room. I said, what are you doing? I said, if you're supposed to be the leader of this team, and they see you come in this building like this, what do you think they doing? And he just looked at me and said, Sammy, I can't make a shot right now. I said, well, do something else, John. Get a steal for a layup. Get a couple layups. Play some defense. Do something else. You can't let the
Facts.
game dictate how you're going to play because you're not making shots. There's so many other ways you can impact the game of basketball. So do something else, man. And the first quarter, you had 3 steals with 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
You finished
And
like 30-something points that day.
Yeah,
In
before
game
then, though,
5.
I didn't even say a word. Remember, I walked into the game after you talked to me. I
Yeah.
went home. I went back to the hotel. I didn't say nothing. Like, I come into the game, I don't say nothing. Sammy working me out. I'm not saying shit. I'm just locked in because he got me to a point where, like, you know what? Fuck it. That's when I was like, just scoring ain't going to win you games. You can do other things. And that's when I finally took my game to another level. Also, is being a lockdown defender, making other plays, just putting pressure on the defense. So, yeah, it goes a long way for sure.
That's what I told you. I said, do something else besides thinking about scoring.
All you want to
Okay,
do
your
is
shot
score the
ain't there
ball.
today. I said, steal the ball. I said, get a steal. Get a layup. Get a layup. Do something else. See the
No,
ball go through the basket.
but that's what I say. I tell the people all the time, like, it was a great relationship because you didn't give a damn. You hurt my feelings. It was the wrong thing to say or the right time to say it because you've been in that position before. And that's what I need. And I was like, just imagine if I didn't have that, where do my career
Right.
go? You know what I mean? So, like, I
Right.
give a lot of credit to you for that because, like, you don't have that. I never really been I've been coached before, but like, I had only one I had close to you that played that position was Rod Strickland. That was in college. I mean, now I'm in the pros where it's 82 games. We probably lost. We started off 0-28 on the road.
Man, I remember you came to my room crying, tears, crying. I mean, he was in a culture shock. And then he's going through withdrawals about winning. And he came to my room, and I forgot where he was at, what city he was in. Crying,
You
saying,
know
I
what
don't
I
know how to get
said?
through this.
You
I
remember
don't
what I
know how to get
said?
through this.
Remember what I told you? I said, OG, you think I can get paid and go back and play in college? Because this shit ain't it.
I said, John, I never forget it. I said, you was crying tears. You couldn't believe it. Like you was like 3 and like 20. You couldn't believe it. You was crying tears. You only lost 3 games your whole college career. Now you lost 3 games. You only won 3 games. It was like in December.
For sure.
I said, well, I'll tell you what. I just roster look right now. We're gonna do some more losing next year. I said, we're gonna do some more losing next year, but we're gonna get your team, man.
Only thing that
We
helped
made
us, it
some
was
changes.
lockout year. So we had a little break. We started a little later.
Yeah.
We only played 66 games.
Yeah, and but yeah, it was some times, man. I think that shows your how much you matured, man. Like because it was sometimes it's like pulling teeth to get you to get in the gym. And I said, John, what if your speed go? What kind of basketball player you gonna be? He was like, I don't know, I always had speed. I said, okay, that's work on your shooting. And I just broke and I said, listen, we ain't chase nothing but your shot, but we're gonna shoot the ball when you're going up instead of coming down. And we just did it. We just got rep after rep after rep. I said, come on, you live around the corner from you, the first spot. I said, come on, let's go
I
to the
told
gym.
CJ, I said it was
I said,
30
let's go to the
seconds,
gym.
30
I
seconds
said,
to
let's
a
go
minute
to the
walk.
gym. I call you. I said, what you doing? None. Playing a game? I said, y'all playing you playing a game? Yeah, I'm playing a game. I said, let's go to the gym for an hour. Get some shots up. All right. We did that. I said, and you start to work and you seen the results. You started making like 7 out of 10 pull up jump shot. You start seeing the results. So he's like, I remember you start calling to me, Sam, let's get in the gym tomorrow. I'll be there early tomorrow. I said, John's Friday night. You're not coming here early. No, I'll be here. I'm coming. I'll be here. I'll be here. I'll be here. And to your credit, you was there for the first 15 minutes so I get you going. But when you got going, you got going. So I never had a problem with you on the court doing your work. I say, listen, I always tell you, I say, if you're going to party like a rock star, you better come to the gym and be an all-star. That's my only rule I gave you. I said, good, because the same after you get nightlife, I'm going to get it out your head. I'm going to get it out your head. And you did it. So I never had a problem with you, Brad, Shay, Tyrese Maxey, Austin Rivers. I never had a problem with the guys that I put my hands on, that I actually put my hands on as a young player. And I told all y'all the same thing. I said, the year y'all make the playoff, y'all will be all-stars. I said, the year y'all make the playoff, Shea was a little quicker because he went from averaging, 11 points to 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then from 20 to 26, 26 to 30 points. So never thought that may happen, but y'all put the work in, man. So y'all put the work in. I told all of y'all can be rich individuals. I told all y'all that. Y'all can be rich one day. No, really? I said, all y'all, man.
You still got to take care of the tab next time we go to dinner, though.
No. You make way more money than me. You want my coach's salary?
Hey, I got one more question for you. What's the one thing you still want to accomplish what's one more thing you want to accomplish in this league?
I want an opportunity to be a head coach in this league, man.
I knew it.
I just want an opportunity to be a head coach because I know I can do it.
I want you to get that. I know you could be a head coach, and that's why I asked you that question. Because I want to see you be one.
I just want an opportunity. I'm not begging for it. I just know if I get an opportunity, I'm going to be a good head coach. I understand what it takes to get a player going, what a player want to hear, Sometimes you got to be an asshole on the bench, But sometimes you don't. That's the old school coaching right there, You got to know how to communicate to these guys because, the league is getting so young now that the hard criticism may not work,
But I feel like you can have some old school with the new school. You know what I mean? Like an old school.
Oh, absolutely. You got a whole guy.
An old school coach that got the old school mentality, but still know how to be with the new school. I think nothing wrong with that because it's the same as me as a point guard. And you know, some players I can yell at on the court. Some players I got to wait till I get in the huddle and baby.
Right.
Because they might not react the right
Everybody
way.
want to be. All the players say they want to be coached till you coach them.
That's a
you
fact.
Coach them. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be coached till you coach them. But I'm having a ball with this, man. Like I've been coached for 15 years as assistant coach. To see like some of the guys I actually paid a lot of attention with, spend a lot of time with, and see them blossom to, fathers and got their own families now. So none of these guys was fathers. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, I won't even close.
John got kids. Brad got kids. Everybody got kids now. Austin got kids. So all the guys I work with got kids now. And at first they didn't have kids, and now I see the maturity them guys have, and it's just amazing. I'm like, they all. I call all of them my sons. You know what I'm saying? Like John Murray, Miss Francis, that was my girl. She used to call me and say, "You get him, Sam. You tell that boy, all the time." All the time. All the time. I say, Miss Francis, I can't get him all the time like that. I'm going to shoot all my bullets out at him. You know what I'm saying? I only got 6. It's December, Mr. John Murray, like, you get him. You tell him. You get him. He don't listen to you. You get him.
Yeah, that's a fact for sure.
And I was like, Miss Francis, I can't. It's like December. I only got a revolver. I got 6 shots. I can't use all my 6 bullets in the month of November, December. I ain't had no more.
She wanted them going in the first 2 months.
Say, get another gun. Get another gun. I'm sick of him. That's my girl right there. That's my girl.
Sam,
that's my girl.
It's been an honor and pleasure watching you as a player and a coach. Good luck to you in these playoffs and for coming on Point Game.
Thank you.
And OG, I just want to say thank you for not only taking the time to join us for the podcast, but for what you've done for me, the game in general, your passion, your dedication, knowledge, and commitment to the game. You've been significant. So continue to do what you're doing. We watch y'all in the playoffs. I'm going to come catch a game. And I hope you
get on you if you come to Miami.
For sure. And I hope you get the opportunity. And I pray you get the opportunity very soon to be a head coach because I know you'll do a hell of a job of it because you have that mentality of somebody that played the game, know the old school mentality, know the new school mentality. And I think the players will relate to you. That's something that we missing in the game a lot is players can relate to their coach and understand and will respect them the way they need to.
No doubt.
Thank
you, man.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Sam. Welcome back to Point Game with John Wall and CJ Toledano, presented by DraftKings. Don't forget, Bucket or Brick is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings Sportsbook is your home for all things NBA action, from player props to same-game parlays. Check out everything DraftKings Sportsbook has to offer to make your NBA experience even sweeter. The crown is yours. Now, John, same thing as usual. If you agree, it's a bucket. If you disagree, it's a brick. I want an explanation for either answer. So, you ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, first one. We were talking about the Lakers at the top of the show, but the Lakers are plus 425 to win the series versus the Nuggets. So if you bet 100, you win $425. But all I'm asking is, Bucket or brick, the Lakers will win at least 2 games in this series versus the Nuggets. So 2 games. Bucket or brick.
Brick. I think they
Okay.
might get one.
Yeah.
I just feel like Denver has a number, and like I said, man, as long as they guys are making shots, it's tough to beat them because you have to double team Jokic. You can't guard him one-on-one. Like, they've tried all type of matchups, bro. He's just like that different, bro.
It's crazy.
Like, it's crazy. Like, to be that skilled, the way he controls the game, bro, it's impeccable. It's great to see. And what I want to say is, a lot of people don't give Jamal Murray enough credit, bro.
Oh man.
Like, he's one of the best guards in the league. I get a little frustrated at times because I know he never made an All-Star. I'm not sure if he ever made an All-NBA team, but he has to be on one of them. Like,
Yeah.
to go the number one team in the West last year, to go win a championship, and then come back this year, a couple of injuries here and there, but still finish top 3 and don't get no nods. I don't understand it. Like, he's really – that duo is tough because of him. Because you can't switch a big on him because he can kill that matchup. And then if you don't switch, then he's just getting to his spots in front and pick and roll with Jokic. So they're a tough duo to deal with.
No, facts. I mean, when Murray takes over, it's like the Lakers or any team really playing the Nuggets can be up 10 with 3 minutes left. And Murray can get a bucket. Jokic can get a bucket. I mean, they got 3 shooters around him besides those guys that you kick it out. MPJ, KCP, they're hitting threes. I think in this series, and I'm a Lakers fan, people are like, oh, what the Lakers got to do? It's like, if they lose, all credit goes to Nuggets. That's an incredible team.
And I think a lot of people question them because they lost Jeff Green and Bruce Brown this summer. And, I mean, those was great pieces, key pieces to their team. But, I mean, Reggie Jackson, he's healthy this year. He's playing well for them. Then you got the Christian Braun playing well. You got Peyton Watson that's giving them minutes. So, like, those young guys is probably not the same guys, those guys, but Peyton Watson is blocking shots, great defensively, plays with a motor. I mean, Christian Braun plays with a motor. You know what I mean? Like, those guys all fit in. And I think this whole year last year they built their confidence, but this year they built their confidence to another level, knowing that they're not just playing spot minutes. They really getting minutes, and they really are part of the rotation to help their team.
Yeah. All right, moving on. So, bucket or brick, Thunder. The OKC Thunder will make the Western Conference Finals. They got the number 1 seed.
If they win this, who they got next?
Who they got next?
Is it Clippers? Oh, nah, Brick.
Who you think they could beat the Mavs or Clippers?
No, I don't think so. And I'm not discrediting them because I feel like they're a great team. They're gonna be able to compete with a lot of people. I just don't think they're better than those 2 teams. Like, they do have the number 1 team in the West, don't get me wrong, but I just think those 2 teams are special. I mean, like, I just think those teams are better. I mean, even though OKC has the number 1 record in the league, I just think those other teams are better.
Okay, we'll see. All right, so bucket or brick, Jalen Brunson has the best footwork in the NBA. Shout out to Sam, who shouted him out, and you. Best post-up, point guard, but best footwork in the NBA right now.
Nah, Brick, I don't think he got the best, but he got some of the best footwork. I mean, but it's hard to kind of say because there's so many guys with great footwork.
SGA.
Kyrie Irving, Paul George, SGA. Yeah, I mean, those guys. Tatum got great footwork. I don't think he got the best. Luka might have the best footwork, bro. Like, the pump fakes, the up and under.
Yeah.
The ball fakes, everything he's hitting. Ant-Man got great footwork. You know what I mean? So we can't forget D-Book. We can't forget. I mean, you can't forget Brad. You can't forget KD. Like, it's just so many great guys. I don't think he has the best, but he's one of the best with footwork for sure. And he's very crafty, and you can't speed him up.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take that answer. All right, next one. Bucket or brick, the Celtics are going to sweep the Heat.
Bucket. I think missing Jimmy Butler is going to hurt them a lot. So, yeah, bucket.
Okay. All right, finally, and a lot of Lakers talk on this show, but bucket or brick, Trae Young is the Lakers' best target this summer. Because immediately when the Hawks didn't make it, they're like,
this is what I have. Trae Young is special. I mean, the numbers he had put up throughout his career is special. Like, not too many guys did that. You know what I mean? Especially now with the NBA now, you can't really touch anybody, so it's hard to guard him. You know what I mean? He got unlimited range. He has a nice floater. I just think he needs the ball so much, and Bron needs the ball. You know what I mean? So it takes away from him being the Trae Young he wants to be or needs to be.
Yeah. So who do you think they go out and get?
A place I would love to see him or Darius Garland play at, not saying either one are going to leave their team, is with Wemby.
Yeah. I think that's where a lot of players are looking at San Antonio right now. There's something to build there. Because I think a lot of the complaints that everyone's having right now is like no one knows how to play with Wemby. It looks like two different teams over there, separated.
No, I think they kind of do. You know, the difference is Trey Jones is a great player. I just don't think he's a starting point guard for them. You know what I mean? He's a great player in the NBA. He's always going to be a player. I don't think he's bad and don't need to get no minutes. I just think he's a great come off the bench role player for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So him being in that starting position, I don't think he really knows how to get it. You know, and I think Pop is also, Pop's a hell of one of the best coaches to me, if not the best.
Yeah.
Is trying to figure out how to use him and what players be there. You know what I mean? Like at times, Devin Vassell is there. He's been out. You know what I mean? So it's all trying to figure out what works best. But you get like a true point guard for them, I think it could be spectacular and special for sure.
It's going to be great. All right, John. Well, this has been a great episode of Point Game. We got to react off of one game of the playoffs. So when we come back next week, we're going to be in the thick of it. We're going to see what teams actually have a chance to move on. So this has been Point Game. John, anything you want to leave with the fans?
Oh, man, continue to watch out to the show. And we got some more great special guests coming on. Me and CJ definitely trying to lock in and get in the studio together to get a live NBA playoff game so y'all can enjoy that. But I hope y'all enjoying this playoff basketball right now. I'm super excited to watch the end of this Knicks game, and I'm definitely ready for the next game.
All right. Like, rate, subscribe, tell people about the pod. We'll be back on Point Game presented by DraftKings. Peace.